65, we party with Sharika, yo, she keeping it live. We got the people on the couch, need to get up on your feet. Do I have your attention? It's the 6th day of the week.
Friday night live, 365. Made it through the week, now it's time to unwind. I got my girl Sharika, and she's telling the truth. Are you paying attention? She's talking to you.
Party people, listen up, we got the guests and the experts. Great conversation every Friday for the record. 7 p.m. Tell your people and your friends. Here we go, start the show, let the combo begin.
Friday night live, 365. Made it through the week, now it's time to unwind. I got my girl Sharika, and she's telling the truth. So get ready, cause she's talking to you.
10-9-8, quiet on the set radio. 765, camera rolling. Ayo, start the show. 4, 3, 2, 1.
365.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live with me, Sharika Abercrombie, your host. And today we have an amazing expert on deck. Her name is Howze, and she is going to be telling us all about student loan debt. We're going to go ahead and welcome her in. Hello. How are you?
Well, I am well, and thank you so much, Sharika, for having me here today. I'm super excited. Yes.
It is absolutely a pleasure. I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to make room for us here at Friday Night Live. We are built in with so much gratitude for just you doing what you do because, hey, most people don't know, but I met Howze in 2017. It was a lady. Her name was the Budgetista, and she was going into the financial arena as far as student loans and helping us get out of debt. And when she did that, she acquired help from Howze. I took Miss Howze class, and we'll get a little bit into that story because now I am debt free because of this amazing lady here, and it is an honor to have you here with me.
Well, I feel the same way, Miss Sharika. It is an honor, and we give God all the glory. Yes, we do. And I'm super excited that maybe we can assist someone else this evening.
Absolutely. So tell us all about yourself.
Wow, that'll take us all night, right?
Let people know, you know what I'm saying, that you the truth.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so let me share this with you. I'm Angela Howze. I'm a student loan expert. I've been doing this for the last 15 years. I enjoy what I call setting the peoples free from student loan captivity. I am the mother of 10, and all of my children have attended college, and some of them debt free. And for the ones who are not debt free, they are in the public service loan forgiveness program with the trajectory to having their student loans forgiven as well. So the things that I love to do the most is to teach student loan literacy, because I do believe that if we understand the principles of student loans and how it is formatted, that we can be able to save as much money as possible before, during, and after we are attending college or allowing our children to attend college. So those are the things that brings me joy, and that is what I do. That's who I am, the student loan expert.
And you was telling us that some of your children, you have 10 children, correct?
Yes.
And so some of them attended college. So just give us a brief, because her students, they didn't just attend any college. Tell us what type of degrees your students have that your children had, what kind of degrees they obtained that they did that was debt free.
Yeah, so I have students. I have two nurses. I have two petroleum engineers, and one of them is both of them both going for their masters in civil engineering, as far as they doing greenhouse, whatever they call that. So they got those degrees. I got a epidemiologist. I have a nutritionist, a registered dietitian is what I'm. She finished up her last year, what she has left. We have a school counselor, and we have one, two, three. It's three teachers. I gotta count now. Three teachers, two nurses, two petroleum engineers, the school counselor, and the dietitian, a registered dietitian. She's on her way. She's at Nicholls State University.
When I say amazing,
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing. Because I wanted y'all to know that her children didn't just go to school to do something mundane. They went to go. They went to be great. Okay,
Oh
every
yeah.
last one of them. So how many of the 10 went debt free?
I would say the one that went debt free are three, and the ones in the public service loan forgiveness program are three. The other two they didn't need to because by the time they got through, they were done. Because I also teach my kids how I prepare my children, and how I do that is I work on the skill set before college, so I find out what their gifts are. One had she was speaking really well, so she did school newspaper, so that's a scholarship college. I had one that did a dorm supervisory, so that paid for a dorm room, so that was free college. My son was a mascot. He also did the arts and theaters. That was a free scholarship. Then I had my other son. He did economics, and he also, he had the grades. And then I had two of them. They played sports, so we utilized every asset that they had in their gifts. And one of the things that I made sure that I provided was the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you have to make sure that you were there and you're present, because I face it, I didn't have a lot of funds to send all them kids. It wasn't in the plans. But what I did have was love and guidance. I showed up when I had to show up. I was right there at the teacher's desk. Hey, what's up with this seat? What happened is let me know what's going on. So we did a contract together. I'll make sure the work is done. You make sure you send it. I have to send you a note every week. And next thing I know, them grades was popping up because we was all in this contract together. Not only that, I assured my kids got in community service. So, and that was a scholarship. So when you have them in the community, and then as we prepare them, to go into workforce, I allow my kids to volunteer at the nursing homes. Then they start seeing their faces. So then when it was time for them to finish they started with the CNA certification. Cool. No problem. They had a job already. Why? Because they was already volunteering. And the next thing you know, when they got the LPN, they didn't have to worry about a job. Why? Because they was already volunteering, and then with the LPN, they didn't need any the loans because they paid their own way. So then when you go into the RN registered RN program, you still make enough money as a LPN, so you're paying your own way. You don't need any student loan debt. And those are some of the things that we try to implement into the family way. So when you sit down and you speak with your children on their gifts and where they want to go, start working on them early, so it can turn into a scholarship. That's the next thing. Mm-hmm.
And she taught me that in 2017, which is why when I tell y'all my son went to school debt free, he wanted to be a welder, and we let him cultivate that gift. He wanted to do wrestling. We cultivated that gift, and he went to school scot free and still in school scot free. Okay, because of just this tidbit of information, getting to know your children and knowing what they want to do and cultivating those gifts in them, and go find student loan program forgiveness programs or even scholarships that will take them into the next level of education absolutely free, or at least take some money out, because
Yeah.
who wouldn't take some scholarship money? Okay, that's free money that they is giving out. Okay.
Well, one of the biggest things that helped out a lot of my kids in serving as they was going through scholarship is that I allowed them to stay at home. They didn't have to go to college and pay for the dorm fees, cafeteria fee, paying for the gym fees, all these fees. But if your child is allowed, say you community college 15, 25 miles away, they can commute. So if they commute back and forth, you save the funds, and that way, if they're eligible for Pell Grant, the Pell Grant will pay the way. Not only that, when you do dorm supervisor, that'll help. I mean, the other scholarships will kick in, and you save money, no need to borrow. But if you had to borrow, it's okay. So if you had to borrow $2,000, $3,000, borrow the $2,000, $3,000, pay it back before the 6 months. So you won't have no debt. So you borrow, you pay it back for 6 months, and then and then you continue on, and then it's over with. You don't, at the end of your term, you won't have any debt because you steady paying it back. So if you can borrow the $2,000 or $3,000 and pay it back as you working part-time or you working full-time, then pay it back as you go along. There's all kind of ways you can find ways to reduce or not even use student loans if you can.
And that's always the best way to not be able to get in student loan debt. But we know that some people did get into debt. But we're going to take a brief commercial and we'll be right back to give y'all those ways of how not to or how to avoid student loan debt. Hello, everyone. I am so excited. Guess why? I am officially an author. I wrote a book. Yes, I did. And I want you all to go out and support. The pre-sale is available. Guess y'all know I'm all full of color. So the book is also full of color as well. It gives you everything you need to know about money, budgeting, and guess what? Your credit. Because you know I am the credit queen. So I want you to have all of that jam-packed into this beautiful book. It's easy to read. The letters are big. Even my grandma liked it, okay? And you know Granny liked everything that I do. But she especially liked this because she didn't even have to go get a magnified to read that little old word. So go out and get your book today. I want to thank you so much for all your support. See you later.
Friday Night Live 365.
So y'all go get y'all book. It is now on sale. Go to the website at choiceexclusive.com. And don't forget, it's over $3,000 packed into some of these books. So get that free money. And then she is going to help us figure out how to get that free money from student loan debt and how we can do that. So what type of scholarships are out there for us to avoid student loan debt?
Well, you do know you have the Pell Grant, but this is what I want to tell you to look for your scholarship. So, whatever the student may be interested in, have a plan first. If you're undecided before you go to junior college, then maybe it's not the time to go. Um,
Right.
if your way of attending college is to start off with student loans, then maybe that's not the best way to go. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying maybe. Okay. But if you want to get scholarships, look, when you go to a college, university, get the student loan handbook. Look in the back of the book is some endowments back there in the different fields in music, band, English, whatever the student may want to participate in as their curriculum. Those where all your scholarships reside, and they host it right there at the school. So go into the financial aid office, pull the information up, and tell them you want to apply for those scholarships. Now you can do them on your own, but you can also go in there and tell the financial aid officer that you need extra funds because there's always some extra money back there. You just got to ask for it.
Wow.
You know,
Now that's a tip that I didn't even know. I didn't know you can look in the back and just find endowments like that. Hey, that's a good piece of information for y'all out there because I know children are starting to go back to school because I have two nieces and it is time for them to go back. So that tidbit of information will also help them. So let's change gears for a second. So say I'm an adult, I've already went to school and I'm no different than I was a couple years ago, and I am bogged down in student loan debt. Now, we both know that, of course, the student loans are on deferment right now because of the pandemic. But when is that actually coming out? What is the date that that is coming out?
we have until August the 31st, and they said the new payment supposed to start back up in September the 1st. So one of the things I want to share with you all, if your payments is already on automation, you may want to take them off of automation until your income during repayment plan is implemented. Because if not, if you have not did your income during payment plan, then they may come up. You know like they used to do. You owe $1,500 a month, and wow, that's your house payment, and you forgot all about it because you was, waiting on the pandemic hold, and next thing you know, they done took it out your account, and it's hard to get it back once they take it out. You can fight for it, but but your house no due, right? So I would do that first until I do the income during payment plan. And speaking of which, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program has so many new programs that are available for you. Number one, if you work in the public sector, nonprofit, uh, state, local, any government, then you are eligible to participate in the public service loan forgiveness waiver. Now, listen, it doesn't matter what type of loans you have. You can have the federal family educational loans, which are your FFEO loans. You may have direct loans. If you have those types of loans and you've been working for a qualified, they're going to say qualified, a government entity, and let me tell you this, I don't endorse this, but you can even work at the liquor store and be eligible to participate because it's state. Just so you know. Now, once you do that, you're eligible to participate in this new public service loan forgiveness waiver, which I absolutely love. Because if you are in a graduated program, you got FFEO loans, normally they don't qualify. But because of this new waiver, they do qualify. And you are eligible to participate and get your loans forgiven. I have several people. I post them on my business page. But you'll see they say, Angela Howze, I got my student loans. She got all, her name is Candace Barnes. She's just one of them. And she got all her loans forgiven. And she also received a refund check. So it's the money is there. The forgiveness is there for those, and they all are approved by United States Department of Education. But you got to put the form in. That's on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Now, for those of you who may be in default, and you may have defaulted twice, there's nothing else to consolidate. You actually at that management system place, right? So good news. Because the Biden administration stated that they will place everybody that's in default back into good standing. Thereby, they're eligible to participate in the income during repayment plan. And not only that, you're going to love this, Miss Eureka, the queen, the credit queen, is going to come off their credit report.
Because that's my favorite part. I was ready for her to get to it.
Yeah, so it's going to come off their credit report, and that's going to what boost your scores. Then she can teach you on what else you need to do on that end, right?
Right.
So you want to look at that. And then speaking of credit report, they're switching up. You should be over to Mohila now for those of you in the public service loan forgiveness program. And if you're not in Mohila and you still at NailNet or our Fed Loan Servicing, because they're not hosting the doing like with your student loan for the public service loan forgiveness program. So you may want to make sure that you're over to Mohila. You should have got an email by now because they've been sending them all out and they just started transferring people over July the 1st. So that's on that one. So now we talked about the defaulted student loans and we talked about the public service loan forgiveness waiver. Now let's talk about the new IDR plan. The new IDR plan, what they have out now. For those of you who have been having your student loans for 20 to 25 years, and you may have had them in forbearance for 12 to 36 months consecutively. And if you have, you're eligible to participate in this. It's a dismissal of your student loans as well. What they're going to do, they're going to go back and count those months that you were in forbearance. Because remember, the lawsuit was that you guys were being placed in forbearance without your knowledge for some people, or maybe it wasn't that much of a hardship, and you had them, and you had to keep them in forbearance. And then they'll go back and start counting. If it reads up to 20 to 25 years of repayment, they'll count them, and your loans can have the potential of being forgiven. So that's that one. And then we also have a new income-based repayment plan that is coming to whereby, you remember when it was 150% discretionary income only for the different program, like your income-based, your revised pay as you earn, your pay as you earn. You can do it on those, but the income contingent is always at 100% of your discretionary income. Okay, so just remember that. And then so these are some of the things that they have in place on that format. So they're trying to get it to 200% of discretionary income, or up to 250% discretionary income. And what that will do, that will lower your repayment, give you some more money to put away, or to put or to invest, or to pay off some debt, or whatever you may feel that is, say your children's college, whatever fund you feel like you need to do, empower yourself. I don't know, but it just folds some more money back into your pocket. And yes, I said fold, not coins, fold. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we like the one that fold.
We like the one that folds, not the jingle. We want it to fold.
Right.
That's one of the things that I assist people with when I do it. I share people how not to use the adjusted gross income. Why? Use your taxable wages and save all your money. I mean, save hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, about time you finish. It all depends on the size of your debt and what you have to deduct. Because some of them are thousands of dollars that they be saving. So it's one of the things you want to make sure that you apply. If you're eligible to participate, don't hesitate. Get it done.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. If you
Mhm.
want to participate, don't hesitate.
Don't
Get
hesitate.
it done.
Get it done.
Get it done. And so I know we had talked about the student loan, I mean, the civil service forgiveness waiver. So how long do they have to do that? Because we know we want them to act now, but is there a deadline for that waiver?
Yeah, this the deadline for the it's fastly approaching. For the same thing for the web because they're going to be ending in September. So what I want you guys to do, you want to get in there before October. Here's the thing. A lot of people are coming into it now. The phone lines for somebody been calling, taking them an hour, 2 hours just to connect. Um, because they said it's a deferment, you still want to act because it takes 30, 35 days, 60 days for them to even look at your form. But once you get the form in there, because Mohila was telling people you can't even upload it, you have to fax it in now. Yeah, and because we don't wait to the last minute.
Mm-mm.
It should be more than a year long service, and because you didn't really start pushing it until 4 years ago. I mean, 4 months ago to me, right? You pushing it
Right.
out. Yeah. So, but now, the time is now. The time is now to fill out your public service non forgiveness waiver. It's on studentaid.gov. Um, Fill out the form and get it back in. It's similar to an income during repayment plan, but it has three boxes that you can check. Depending on your category, you select one of those boxes and get the form in. If you're able to upload it, upload it. It's quicker if you can log in there. And if you cannot upload it in the same section 7, you will see a fax number. Then get it faxed as soon as you possibly can. And remember, go back all the way, from whence you worked back in 2007 and to all the way up to now to use those jobs. If they were government jobs or nonprofits, count all of them. If they were 5 months here, 6 months there, utilize every month that you have because remember it's 120 months. So that's
Right.
what you do.
So just to get an understanding, because I was speaking to one of my good friends earlier about her student loans because she did not work it consecutively. The student loan facilitators, because we're not going to call any actual company names,
Hmm.
let they try to, basically lead her astray, saying that she could not group those together. So I'm glad you brought that out. So even if it's not consecutive work of 120 actual months, you still can put your months here, your months here, your months here together to make it because it's accumulative, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. So you may have 7 8 jobs. I have a client that has 7 people she has to go and get her form for, and once they all then you put them all together and fax them all at one time. Don't do them one at a time. You mess yourself up. Gather them all together and then fax them all at one time, and you got to write things out sometimes. Hello, so and so and so and so. This is my look. I have 7. Please confirm that you received all 7 of them. When you fax things over. But yeah, most
Right. So
definitely.
you want to get all of them at the same time. Make
Mhm.
sure every company you work for fill out the forms, gather them at one time, send them to your student loan company. Then you want to make sure that they got it because she just said they taking facts, and we already know facts is ancient and they can get lost. And we don't want you to get lost in the sauce, but we need you to act now so we're not waiting 3 4 months from now. You're like, hey, I sent it back in August, and they saying, well, we didn't get it, or we got 3 companies, but we didn't get the other 3. Especially if you work multiple different places. So if you want to participate, you got to do what? Act now.
And
So
you just want to make sure that you hold yourself accountable to make sure because look, ain't nobody gonna do right for you but you. So, and at the same time, if there's a company that went out of business or you just can't get a hold of no one, on the first page there's a box and it says I can't get in touch with them. I can't receive my form. Click the box and allow them to get it for you. But I caution on that in a sense to You don't know if they're going to pick up the phone and do it, or if you have it done for them, they'll go ahead and process you and get it over there. But that's something. If you just cannot get any help, then you click that box, check that box, and they'll send it over to Mohila's where it has to go. Then you'll be good to go.
Right. So I have a question, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't, and it's down here, so I got to look down here. But if you were already on the public service forgiveness plan, do you have to reapply since we are being switched to Mohila? This is from Miss Makiba. Hey,
Miss McKeeba, you don't have to reapply, but let me tell you this though. I would just do the new IDR waiver. It ain't gonna hurt you because you may go back and they can. I don't even know if you consolidate it because see, they'll go back and get those ones you consolidated. Say you consolidated in 2015, and you just in the regular public service loan forgiveness program is counted from 2015, but the new waiver is going back further. So I was still, because you're still going to keep it. If you, it's just going to tell you which one and how many you're eligible for. That's what you want to know. You want to know how many qualifying payments I have, so I'll know when is my end date. It's time to put a stop to all the madness. Let me know how many you done counted, what month I'm supposed to be through. Is it'll tell you what month and year, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna get to this. Let me keep paying them. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I know I got 12 more payments, and I'm counting it down on my calendar. 11 more months, I'm debt free. 11 more, 10 more months. Now, so yeah, I would, Miss Kiva, I would definitely just do the income, the public service loan, the waiver, and say, you just want to see how many quality, you ain't hurt nobody. You just want to see how many you have. That's all you want to know. And they're going to send you back a sheet and tell you. That's what you want to know.
and so, but what if, like this one off? So, what if it's a company that you work for after they send you that and you don't see it? That particular company listed, but you know you work there, is there, and the company doesn't answer, you just basically fill out the form and just say they don't answer, correct?
Yeah, it's a box at the top. It'll say you cannot connect with the employer, or you cannot obtain your forms, and it's a you check the box, and then this the government know where you work. They're gonna put your social.
Yeah.
They'll pull it up. They'll know you work there. They'll know you start day in. They already got the I-9 form for it. They'll find it. Just, just, they're gonna know you work there. So just you can put that in, and they'll tell you. You'll get it. So they'll call them and see how many hours you work and things of that nature. They can see everything. They connected. Everybody. They can
It's the
see
government.
the
They know
government.
everything.
Government. Yep.
Okay, so we have, it says, I believe they credited me, so I've been bumped up to having 2 years left. Can I pay back the months during COVID deferment to get credit for those 2 years?
Yes. So, Miss Kiba, if they sent you a letter, when was that letter sent? Because they're going to continue to update you. Like every periodically, they'll come in and say, "Well, you have some more qualifying payments added." Because we're going on like what is this? 2020 and March 11 is when it started. So now this is 2022. We already done past March. So it's March, April, May, June, July. So we're hitting on 27 months now. So pretty soon they're going to continue to calculate them and get them up. And I'm sure, depending on the date of your paper that you receive, that you just keep counting those payments because that's when it's going to continue to go up.
Okay, so during the COVID months, if you was in deferment, do you have the option of paying those months and at one time and being done? Or no, it don't work like that.
Tell anybody not to pay their debtor. That's what they want to do. You got the options to pay it off. That's what you like to do if you're in the public service loan forgiveness program. If you don't want to deal with that debt and you decide to pay, that's a choice that you have to make. If you are in forgiveness and you know your loan's gonna be forgiven and you can see how much money you're gonna save, all depends on how you want to carry the debt. Now remember, all debt is not bad debt. Student loan debt has a good credit rating on it if you have not been in default.
Right.
Steady payment, especially if it's say you have $0 to pay. That's some good debt.
Good deal.
All depends on how you look at it. You got the way you look at it. If you have any credit history, you notice if you have any credit history, student loan give you credit history.
It sure will.
We give you credit history. It all depends on now. You don't want to go over to where the fact that we start in your debt to ratio, and then that's see, I have people get build houses from the ground with $400,000 and $500,000 student loan debt. It's no problem. You just got to know your. Mhm.
You just have to know how you can. You just have to know how to do it.
That's it. Yep.
All things through Christ that strengthen them,
That's
and
it.
and a whole bunch of knowledge,
They,
and a
yep.
whole bunch of acting. Because
Yep.
a lot of people, and mainly our people, miss out on the opportunity to even be in these programs because we count ourselves out before we even sign up or even ask for the information or even let the company tell us no. We tell ourselves no. So we're
Mm.
like, oh well, I'm not gonna do the form because I don't qualify. So now she's giving you, she's over here dropping nuggets, okay? Because she's giving you things that most people think like, oh, well, I didn't work one consistent job. Because a lot of people that I know, that's what they thought. Oh, I had to work somewhere for 10 whole years consecutively, and I haven't did that. She just said that is a lie. You can use your jobs, your months here, there, and everywhere because now is a cumulative. So, and even if you have those months, because even I just found that out, the months that you even had in forbearance, those are now counting now correct towards your payment.
Yes, these are ones that could count to your pay if you're the public service loan forgiveness program. Now, when
Right.
I say that, let's be clear. So, say for instance, you work for ABC nonprofit,
Yeah.
and you work there 3 years, and then ABC one says, "Hey, come over here," but they are profit companies. They're not a nonprofit company. So the first one's a nonprofit. This was a for profit, and you go work for them 3 years. Then you say, "I'm going back to the nonprofit," but you just pick back up in the public service loan forgiveness program. The for profit payments you can't use, but you can go back and start working again. So we still going to count those payments. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm working for a for profit, we can't use it. But you can still be in the public service loan forgiveness program, but those payments won't count while you're in a for-profit. You just pick back up where you left off at. So you never lose your space, your place where you were in the student loan industry as far as the public service loan forgiveness program. You still
And
in
that's
there.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You never lose your space. You just pick back up where you left off.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My thing is stay the course until you're finished.
Yeah.
Stay the course. And another thing, because I want to break a myth that I know is not true, but I want y'all to know by the experts. Because some people say, hey, well, I can go open up my own nonprofit and I can forgive my own loans. Can we dive into that to show them and tell them how that does not work?
I see that happen sometimes. I had you know, a lot of people would do a nonprofit to be forgiven for student loans, and I always caution on it. But if you have a gift that you can help in the community, and no one else has that particular gift or whatever that's been given to you to help someone, and you open a nonprofit, then that's that category. But I would not do it for the sake of student loan because it's a lot to go into nonprofit. If you have a nonprofit, you got board members, meetings, you got all the rules and regulations, and you got all the duties of care, and you got all the performances. You got to make sure you line up with the stage. You got to make sure your reports are due. You having your meetings. I mean, every little. I mean, I'm not even talking about the finance part. You got to do your campaign. So you have all these things that have to be in place, and then you definitely cannot be having your family member on your board, like your secretary, so all that stuff is crucial for you not to do. Okay. So, but if you have a nonprofit that you did start and you just happen to have a nonprofit, you just student loans, and if you're qualified, then yeah, you can. You can as a director, and you getting paid. This is a pay. It's not just sitting there. You're getting a check. They paying you, right? They give you a salary because you're working 30 hours or more a week. That's the minimum, 30 hours. But now somebody else can't sit on your board and claim to work for a nonprofit because board members don't get paid. They serve voluntarily. But now if you have somebody working as a coordinator, now they can get and they get paid. They can be eligible to participate with the approval of United States Department of Education. So my answer to the question is, I don't advise people to just run to get a nonprofit because they have student loans, because for me it's too much work. But whatever I can't tell you not to do it. But they have to be approved by United States Department of Education. Just because you start open a nonprofit does not mean it would be considered a nonprofit for them to approve. They have to approve it, the nonprofit. Yeah.
So just to get clarification, if you have a nonprofit and you're getting paid from that nonprofit at least 30 hours or more, is that per week or per month?
A week.
Per week, then you can, if the nonprofit is approved by the US government, then you can participate in the public service loan forgiveness program, correct?
Correct.
Did y'all hear all that? So y'all can't just say y'all got y'all a nonprofit. The nonprofit ain't paying you and you can go get it and participate. It does not work like that. So we have another one. It says, can you apply for this working for a home health company? That's from Tamika Jones.
Is a home health company a private company or is it a government company? If it's private, the private sector would not be eligible. And the way to find out if when you go to studentaid.gov, then you go and you apply. Say you apply for income to repayment plan, or you to switch over. It's going to ask you, are you participating in public service loan? And you'll put your company information in, and they'll tell you if it's eligible or not eligible. But sometimes it may not show up because the system is new. So you won't know until you put your information in. But I will ask the company, hey, is this a 501c3 organization? And then they'll tell you. But if they say usually they for profits, but they could be a government entity. That's what you had to find out first.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So other than the public service loan forgiveness programs, are there any other programs that we can utilize in order to get our loans forgiven?
Well, yeah, we talked about well, the course of you disabled or what have you, which I'm gonna say you healed in Jesus' name. That one is a way. Then you have the other ones with your schools. I know you see a lot of things with the school going on for people who have been mistreated with the school. That's an option. That takes time. You just got to go in there and do your homework, and you have to fight for your case and make sure that you can present it the right way, because you got to talk about it and what happened and was you mistreated. So that's a process to front the bars of defense. So that's one. Um, then you have the regular public service loan forgiveness program is still there. So it's still there. As soon as this public service forgiveness waiver kick off, the regular public service loan forgiveness program is going to it's still there. It's going to just keep going. So that's another way for forgiveness. And then if you are on the revised parish, you're on the parish, you're on for 20 to 25 years of payment, that's another way of forgiveness. And another thing I forgot to tell you I mentioned, they're also coming out with, say, for instance, you make $25,000 a year, they will not be adding the interest, not an interest accrual over to the principal. So they'll stop that. If you had who want to make 25 G's a year? So, but they are doing that. So that's a good thing. We're just waiting for everything to come into fruition. It's been said, like dangling a carrot over your face. But it's been said. We're just waiting on them to put it in writing, just put it in the bill, and see what's happening.
Yes, we definitely want them to put it in writing for those people that do make wages under $25,000. That would be a game changer, especially for a lot of people that don't make the type of income to afford the loans that they have. And do anybody online, do y'all got any questions? Because we're here to answer your questions. We want you to be able to get your loans forgiven, to make sure you're in the proper income-based repayment. And if you did not hear her earlier, she stated, if you are on auto pay for your student loans come September, well, she said get out of it now, because what you don't want to do is come September, they end up hitting you for that payment automatically. And your mortgage is coming up. She don't want you to be able to miss that payment because they're going to take their money, and you may or may not get it back. But if you do, be prepared to fight. I don't want you to fight. Just act now, okay? Take your money out the house. So we got another question. If you, oh my, I don't know why you do that. That's my husband. If you're still currently attending school, what would be the best way to start eliminating student loan debt?
Okay. All right. So let me piggyback off the last one you said, and I'm coming to you, sir.
Okay.
And so the last one, I almost slipped my mind what you said, but I wanted to share something I want to share with you. It slipped my mind. It'll come back to me. But what was that you said, Miss Sharika? Because I want to say it. It was
Just right before I asked the question,
yeah.
I was talking about what other you don't want to wait until you know September comes in order to not if you're on the auto pay.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that you should be receiving a thank you. You should be receiving a letter telling you when the payments are going to start up. I'm hoping that they give us another extension is what I'm believing is going to happen because they have not sent out a letter telling you when they're going to start repayment. And then while you are awaiting your income to repayment plan could be coming due for renewal, you may want to look at it and see if you desire to go ahead and get it updated so you just be ready set to go. And if you have not, that's why you should not be in the automatic enrollment until you figure out, your income may have changed. You may not be making the same amount of money you was making before. So, that's why it's very important to check your status on that part. So that's why I just want to make sure I disclose that.
And
Um,
so,
and then, so
what would they check their status?
yes,
Just
check.
in case they don't know.
Yeah, and update your information because things have changed. Been a pandemic for a couple of years now, so just make sure all your information is updated in case of any change. So back to you, sir. So one of the ways that you can reduce your student loan debt is stop borrowing. Stop borrowing. While if you're in the hole, stop digging. So stop borrowing your student loan debt. But if you but if you want to, the only way you can pay it back is with your money, or when you the type of job. See, one of the things that before you go into college, you want to look and see what is the mandatory, what jobs are mandatory, and then some jobs when you're ready to take them, they will go ahead and pay a percentage of your student loans. Federal companies, they'll pay up to 60% of your student loans, and a lot of companies are actually paying the student loan borrower student loan debt. I got a few clients that they don't even pay their student loan debt because the company is paying it for them. But to shrink the debt, one thing I would do is I will continue to take the ACT and SAT test because just because you made a 21 or 22 coming in or 14, 15, 16, whatever the case may be, continue to take the exam because every semester and every time you get ready to renew, your application for FAFSA, let them know, hey, my ACT score changed and I want to know where's my grant money? Because I made a 26 this time and I need to get a full ride. I need some more funds. And they're going to have to give you some scholarship money. And that would keep you from borrowing more student loan debt. The more scholarships you can get, but you won't have to put in, you got to put your hands in it. You're going to have to go ahead and study and continue to take the exam, continue to receive different awards, the TOPS awards, the top awards award, like say you got out of school transferring, you want to go to a different college, you don't pay that out of state fee tuition, that's a murder. But if your GPA is 3.0 to 3.5, they won't even charge it to you. It's called TOPS. So look for it in a lot of
It's
universities.
called TOPS,
TOPS.
TOPS.
Mhm.
Cool.
Look for
Oh,
that.
that's good to know. We have another question. It says, "What about paying the principal while in school? Payments aren't required."
Again, you can. Yeah, and I don't mean to be vague when I say it like that, but I'm just saying because I'm a student.
Yeah.
I know that you in the public service non-forgiveness program. So if you tell me, so Creek, if you tell me in 2 years you're gonna pay my student loan, okay, well I ain't gonna pay it then. If I know you're gonna pay it, but that's not what I'm gonna do. But what I'm saying is you can pay anything you like, Miss Keeper. If you want to pay it all off, I'm here for you. You pay it all off. You sure can. You can pay any amount you want. You sure can. I will never tell you not to pay your principal, interest, or anything. No, ma'am.
Now,
You can pay. That's a decision you need to have with your financial advisor to see if that's something that you should do. But you can if you want to. The option is there. They tell you make payments. You can actually make payments if you like to. You sure can.
but if you're not in public service loan forgiveness and you're still in school, your loans are considered in
Grace
debt.
period. Mm-hmm.
So if they're in deferment, would it be wise to go ahead and start chipping away at that if you know you're not going to get a job in the public service sector and you don't tend to be disabled between the time you graduate and the time you decide to get a job, and you don't tend to go to a school that's going to close or have anything lied to you or all those other loopholes that you have to where you can get off debt? Would it be wise to go ahead and start chipping away at that while you're in school?
Yeah, remember I said that once you borrow that and before the 6 months pay it back, pay it back. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Remember I said if you got to borrow 2 or 3 G's and you working, G's mean $1,000, y'all. I know y'all know that. I'm just saying. So if you got that's a LA coming out of me. See, I'm from LA. All right. And so and that don't mean Lower Alabama either. So gotta have some humor, y'all. Look, it's Friday night. Okay.
Friday night.
Okay, and I'm live with Sharika. Okay, so the credit queen. All right, so here we go. So yeah, so if you have to borrow money, seriously, if you whatever you can pay back before then you won't be charged the interest on it. So if you borrow, you know, what the first 3,500 or maybe $5,500, and you decide, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out before the 6 month period, then by all means pay it off, and then that way, by the time you graduate you may have anywhere from 5,500 to nothing from a 2 year um, college. And if that goes into your university, depending upon what program you took out, is how much money you may be um, allocated to have, or you may have the scholarships in place that will allow you to attend those courses. And if you are a you know, if you are one of the lucky persons, I won't call lucky, one of the blessed person to be an assistant to your supervisor, to your instructor, you'll be able to have your semester paid for. You know, I did that at USM, and then you get the whole semester. They give you a check. Your books is free. That's good. So I say get to know your instructors, you know, and then get to know your instructors and get letter of recommendations from them. Be the A student, that's okay. Sit in the front seat. Make sure let them know that you're interested in their teachings. Ask for a letter of recommendation. By the time it comes back for you to go to the financial aid office to see if you got any scholarship, take the letter of recommendation. Say, hey, look, I got all your letter of recommendation. I need an extra scholarship. I need some more funds. And don't be afraid to go back and talk to your financial advisor at the student aid office.
Wow.
And even when applying, you can even get those letter recommendations from your instructors. And when applying for those endowments in the back of the book, if what they look like when you start submitting and you got a letter recommendation, yes, I'm in this class and my instructor gave me this and she gave me this and she said I would do. Who they gonna pick? You already in school, and they already send you in school right now, and all these teachers saying you will talk to your teachers. Do good or do your homework. Ask for extra credit. Ask you be an assistant. Yeah, my kids did. Sure did.
Hey, Angela Howze, Miss Howze, she giving y'all this game.
Hmm.
She already telling y'all how to do it. So from today forth, if you do not do it, guess who fault it is? Yours.
Hmm.
Because she's here to help. And do you have any other events coming up? Do you have any plans, any classes that you're teaching that you would like to tell the people about?
Yes, so I am having a class tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. It will be via Zoom, and I would like to go over the different programs, and we go a little bit in depth, as I should say, because one of the things I like to teach is student loan literacy. I just truly believe if you understand the repayment programs that you have and the student loan type that you have, that you'll be able to make better decisions. And when you do call in, you won't feel like you don't understand what program you're going into and why my loans are not eligible. I got my loans in 2000, 1988, and why I can't be in certain programs. So you will understand and learn those different trainings and things of that nature. And then you'll also learn how to use your taxable wages. Don't use your gross income, so you can take those off, so you can save money that owes. And then you just want to make sure that that you're eligible to participate in programs, and just start preparing a plan that you see your way out of what I call student loan bondage. But the main thing is, and because we're so short of time to get a lot of people into the program, if they have some serious questions, you can always go to studentaid.gov and speak to your student loan servicer, because when you go over there, they trainings, they're free, and then you can just call them and speak to them and see what they will assist you, right? So whoever is in Mohila, whoever the case may be, it's always good to go there. But if you want assistance with me, then you can reach me at Angela at financialaidstrategist.com. And then you can call me at 601 or text 297-5085 to see if you would be interested in assessment, to see how you can save as much money as possible, or whatever the case may be. It can be from before, during, or after college. You may have any other of those questions, and that's what I'm here for. So the class for tomorrow, it is only contingent 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. But for the sake of getting things together, I think it probably benefits your audience to really just, maybe have an assessment just to talk about
Right.
what's going on, because it's getting close in the day.
And so for the class, we're going to post that link. So if you do want to sign up for the class, that will be on my page, as well as our Friday Night Live page, because we want y'all to get in that class, take that class, learn as much as you can. Because now tomorrow, she will be, if you pull your stuff and do all of the things that is required of you, when you show up for class tomorrow, she will be able to answer your direct questions based off of your personal needs for your student loans. Okay? So that means y'all get signed up. Okay? If this is your area of your financial, y'all know she the a financial literacy coach. I am a financial strategist. I'm trying to make sure that y'all have y'all stuff together. And financial student loans have been holding us up a long time. And it's finally time to take control of that. So you do not want to miss that class tomorrow, because it is going to benefit you and take you on a journey of getting free.
Yes, it is. It's free yourself.
And is there anything you would like to add before we close out?
Well, I just want to make sure that if you have children and they're attending college, to really kind of home in on their skill sets, so we don't keep repeating the cycle. One of the things I look at, I mean, they cannot keep billing us out, right? And then I do know that a lot of, and what we're moving in society today is dealing with a lot of technology and computer skill sets. And every child deserves to go to college if that's what your plans is for your child. And then there are some children who may not want to go to college. They may just want to do a certificate program. And I know a lot of people making six figures doing plumbing, doing all kinds of things. And they don't even have to have a degree with that debt behind them. But if your child decides to go to school and you have the money to send them to school, I think that's an awesome thing to have. Make sure that we are putting in our 529 plans to try to, to get things going. Then for birthday and Christmas, ask people to donate towards the college fund for your child, instead of buying, the till they're going to play them for a few minutes and throw them away anyway. Instead of having, like big occasions, back in the day, they used to have rent parties, back in the day. But this time, say, hey, my child is graduating and we having a college fund party. So y'all come out, but we want you to bring money. We know you bringing money. We don't need no gifts. We don't need that. We don't need no bear. We want some money that fold. And at least in doing so, some things like that. And kudos to you. I know as as mothers and as parents, we want the best for our children. And as mothers, we're gonna do what we need to do to get things done. And that even included doing those Parent Plus loans. So be mindful of those. The interest rates are high. And so if you got those, if you can, don't get no more. But I can't tell you what not to do, because if your baby need to go to school, you do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you got to have a plan to take care of that, right? But it's also ways that you may be able to do a double consolidation to get them where they need to be, to perhaps be able to participate in the income-based repayment program or the revised pay as you earn, which is 15 to 10% of the discretionary income. So those are other tips that I wanted to leave with you all. In addition to just make sure that we get on time and don't miss the deadline for the public service loan forgiveness waiver. And then to make sure you check back between October and November for those of you who are in default, to make sure you bombard them and let them know, hey, we're I'm supposed to be out of default by now. When is that deadline coming? Because they stated it. They said they was going to do it. So you keep up with that. And for those of you who is not in the public service loan forgiveness program and you don't anticipate being in the public service loan forgiveness program, you had your loans for 20, 25 years, see if you're eligible to participate in the forgiveness for those who have had their student loan debt for 12 to, like in a row in forbearance for 12 to 36 months consecutively, but you had your loans for over 20 to 25 years. But you was paying, but like you just could never get off your feet, and see if you qualify for that program. And remember, all approvals are by United States Department of Education, not by Angela, by United States Department of Angela. I mean, United States Department. Yes, and I saw keep seeing my name up here, but United States Department of Education does all your approvals. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's it.
Awesome. We definitely thank you. On the last note, for other entrepreneurs that are out there, what information would you, or even encouragement, would you like to encourage people that are getting to the like owning their own business or becoming an entrepreneur? What information or knowledge would you drop on them to be able to, just encourage them or say, don't do it?
Well, no, if they don't do it as far as like get student loan debt, I don't do it like to encourage you, because I know it's for some people their business is really doing well.
Right.
Always in a time of despair, there's always profitability. So yeah, so that's where your creative skills and things come to play. So I want to encourage you, and I'm proud of you that you are, you have a business and you're going to do well for yourself. I would definitely say get as much training as you can in the finance and in the backing part of it, of your entrepreneurship. Don't give up. Whatever you do, don't doubt yourself, because I believe you have the talent and the gift to proceed. So if you got to get help, get help. There's a lot of free trainings that you can partake in, especially with the United States Department. They be having a small business association. So if you had to go to the USBA, you can go there for training. They do your blueprints for you. They do your strategic plans for you. So, your SWOT analysis. So if you're having issues, do a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. That's what that means, a SWOT. And then you can go back and take a look. If something's not changing over the last 3 to 6 months, every quarter, go back. Every quarter, check your financial status. Every quarter, check to see what are you doing and what are you not doing. What's working and what's not working. And then switch it up. But if it's something that's working, then go to another level. Keep that level, go to a level, next level, next level. Because it's only up from here, babe.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all the way up.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I thank you so much, Miss Howze, for your time and for dropping them gems on us so we can break the shackles of student loan debt. We thank you so much. We can never repay you for helping us to get free.
To God be the glory.
You went out, told the story, did it, and came back to put that ladder down and bring others up. And for that, I am so grateful.
Praise God. Praise God. To God be the glory.
And we want to thank y'all, to our Friday Night Live family, for tuning in. It is another episode with your girl. And we will see y'all next Friday. Peace.
Friday Night Live 365.
Let's go.